I'm here to talk about something called Lead Poisoning Prevention Week. It's an awareness week that's taking place between the 20th and the 26th of October, and it's trying to bring attention to everyone in the world of the risks of lead. Lead is a notorious heavy metal. It's a very old poison. Its risks have been known about for many, many years, but it's claiming new victims daily. Indeed, according to the World Health Organization, something like 600,000 children every year are diagnosed with cases of deficient intellectual development or damage to their intellectual development because of exposure to lead. And lead is harmful in many other ways. It can lead to stunting, it can lead to palsies, it can lead to even miscarriages in pregnant mothers. So it's a poison that we have to get out of our environment. There's good news. Most of the world now does not have lead in petrol. Since 2002, the United Nations Environment Programme has been working with the petroleum industry and governments and many, many partners to actually get rid of lead in transport fuels. And now hardly a litre is sold on this planet containing this damaging heavy metal. But there's another important source, and a source which many people will find quite extraordinary, and that is the lead in paint. Lead is added to paint, or historically added to paint, to actually improve certain colours, like reds and yellows and greens. But it does not need to be there. Yet, in many parts of the developing world, levels of lead are off the Richter scale in some paints being sold every day to people in Africa, Asia and Latin America. There is no need for that lead to be there. Therefore, we are calling for a ban on lead paint. We are asking the public to ask their paint companies, what is in that paint? Is there lead? If so, at what levels? If the company doesn't know, go and see your environmental health officer at the local authority. Talk to your member of parliament or elected official. Maybe speak to your doctor. But start raising this issue in your towns and in your cities and in your shops about getting lead out of paint. The world agreed in 2002 to basically manage chemicals in a sustainable way by 2020. The issue of lead in paint goes back many, many decades. Indeed, it predates the United Nations because it was a call by the League of Nations to get rid of lead. So, during this week, we have an opportunity to not only fulfill the aspirations of previous generations in terms of getting lead out of paint in this case, but also to help meet that 2020 target and that 2020 goal, which involves many, many chemicals. But let's start with lead in paint. That would be a good beginning. In support of this week, the United Nations Environment Programme has actually produced some interesting posters which in a sense bring home the message of why we need to get lead out of paint. They're colour-coded posters, the kind of colour charts you'd see in a paint shop, but the colours describe some of the diseases and disorders that exposure to lead will give you. So let me show them to you. Here are the examples. It shows that in fact different colours, and it connects them with some of the disorders that you can get from exposure to lead. Here's one. Here's another. And here's another. Why don't you download them from the UNEP website during that week? Why don't you put them up in your homes, in your offices, give them to your doctor's surgery, anywhere where people can see that lead is a risk in paint and that we can all do something about it. Thank you.